Jesus, sometimes he healed people with mud. I said, you didn't heal people with mud on the eye. You didn't open a blind eye with mud. He put the mud on, he had the guy put mud in his eye, or he put mud in the guy's eyes. Or some people say it was a spit. No, the spit was to activate the mud, the dirt to make it mud. And so he said, go across the town and wash your eyes. What he was getting the guy to do was act in faith. And when he acted in faith, he found his eyes opened up. When he prayed for those lepers, he just prayed for them, released the power of God. It didn't say they were healed right then. It said as they went on their way, he said, go show yourself to the priest. That was their faith action, their faith command. The priests were the doctors of the day. They were the ones that gave the stamp of good health or bad health. And it says, as they were heading that way, what happened? They found that they were healed. Their faith, their action, activated their faith. The faith activated the supernatural. There's a woman that came, somebody sent her over here from another church, and she was all crippled up with arthritis and bent over and this and that. And I asked her, she always asks me, what can you do or not do? So I know what's going to, what we can see afterward, is there effect or not. And she said, I said, could you walk up those stairs? She said, I had a hard time. It took me so long to come up those stairs. So I ministered to her for a while, broke through, found the issues, areas, blocks, blah, blah, blah. I just sensed the release. I prayed for her. I said, okay, get up. Okay, move, sit down, move around. Okay, I want you to go down those stairs and come up. So she went down the stairs. She came up kind of slowly, but faster. She said, I'm faster than I came when I first came. I said, go back down. She looked at me like, come back. She did, I had to do like, the third time she came bouncing up the stairs. I have it on video, like bouncing like a 20-year-old. And she had this huge monstrous smile on her face. Faith activates the supernatural. So, you believe in God for something, you're walking in faith, step out and do something in faith that corresponds with what you're believing for. Again, John G. or Smith Wigglesworth said, I find it easier to act myself than believing. Faith is easy if we're willing and obedient. Isaiah 1 verse 19, be willing and obedient, and you shall eat the good of the land. Sometimes people are focusing too much on where their faith level is at or not at, instead of saying, God, search my heart. Is there any issues of stubbornness and rebellion and disobedience in my life? And guess what? 99.9% of us here have issues of stubbornness and rebellion and disobedience, isn't that right? And that other little tiny percentage are all lying. I remember this guy came to me and he said, I have no sin. So the Bible says you're a liar. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking that. But if we're yielded, if we're open, if we're willing, if we're submitted, if we're obedient, faith is easy. Faith is really hard when you're walking in disobedience, isn't that right? It's just almost impossible. I've seen this happen where people had a certain issue of disobedience in their life, and the Lord put the finger on it, they dealt with it, and boom, breakthrough in different areas, finances, relations, whatever. So it's a good thing to say, Lord, is there any area where I'm not submitted? Humility, the spirit of humility ties in with willingness and obedience. 1 Peter 5:6, humble yourselves, 1 Peter 5:6, under the mighty hand of God, that he might exalt you, or lift you up, or bring deliverance, or bring restoration, or revive you in due time. Casting all, 100%, casting 100% of your cares on him. Why? Because he cares for you, because he's committed to you, because he loves you, because he accepts you. Again, if we understand that, then we're able to release our cares to him. Humility causes us to, or inspires us to get off our little thrones, because we all have our little thrones that we sit on, and release whatever it is we need to release to Him. If there's anything we need to do and be, is to become better releasers. That's why the Bible says, casting all of your cares, releasing all your junk, all your stuff to Him. There's one person I was praying for recently said, you know, I just can't see myself giving God all my negative junk and all my fears and all my stuff. I said, well, He says to give it to Him. He's big enough to carry it, and you're not able to carry it by yourself. We've got to believe and understand that He's able to take it all. Faith is easy when we come to the place of release. Faith is easy when we come to the place of release. Faith releases everything. Why? Because faith trusts God. When we don't trust God, we hold on to stuff. Isn't that right? We don't think that God can deal with it or handle it. Sometimes we've got to get a sheet of paper at our prayer time and make a list of all the things that we need to release, and then go through that list one by one and say, in faith, by faith, I release this to you, Lord, I release this to you, Lord, I release this to you. And you can do it without any emotion. You can just do it one by just, you know, mechanically. Faith is easy if we're consistent in our walk. Listen to me, one of the keys to success in any area in life is plain old simple consistency. This guy was telling me, he said, you know, I find it so hard. He said, he had a company here, and he said, Damien, if I could just find people I can't find any good employees. All I need is somebody to show up, and show up on a regular basis, even if the surf is up, and not do drugs and not drink and don't steal from me. Yeah. Okay? He said, this is, I can't find anybody, he says. But in this equation is consistency, just showing up, just doing your job, doing what you're supposed to do, just doing it. God told Gloria Copeland a long time ago, she was praying, and He said this, if you want to walk in the Spirit, if you want to operate more fully in the supernatural power of God, you know what He says? He told her, be consistent. He said, in consistency lies the power. In consistency lies the power. Human nature, nature of the soul, the human soul tends to be up and down. Up one day, down the next. Up in faith, trusting God one day, down the next day. Fear, doubt, and unbelief. Walking with God one day, walking with the devil the next day. Hebrews 13:8, it says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. What does that connotate? Consistency. If we believe that Jesus is consistent, that ties with faithfulness. Again, faith is easy. But we need to be consistent in our seeking the Lord. Be consistent in our devotional time. Be consistent in our prayer time. Be consistent in being in the Word. I was talking to this woman just the other day. She moved away, called to see how things were going at the church. But I've seen in her life a consistency, just a steadfastness of pursuing the Lord, just never, almost never wavering. And one of the things she said, I'm always in the Word. She just told me the other day. And I knew she's always in the Word. She's always been in the Word. But she just said that. I'm always in the Word. There's this friend of